Arab guy, okay, Houston Airport, George Bush, okay, don't laugh, George Bush Intercontinental Airport, standing in line, and they're like, do not pet the canines, random spot checks, da-da-da-da. I'm standing in line, beagle walks, just beeline, straight to me, walks up to me, starts, and everybody, all of the moms, they're like, oh my God, look at that guy. And I'm like, I swear to God, it's laham.
He's a terrorist, but he's still hot.
No, I'm like, it's not drugs. It's not anything. You know what I mean?
Which is normal, though, by the way, because us growing up as Arabs,
we fly.
No
with
one
food
has
back
flied without taking mlokhiyya or bamia or something for someone's auntie in another country, bro.
Listen, we used to, when in university as well, I used to fly back with pickled lemon معصفر المصري.
Yeah.
lemon معصفر, مربى.
Nice.
And sometimes, can't say it, sometimes like mish وجبنة قديمة in like, well-taped jars.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I got to start doing it myself. A piece of brisket, it will take the length corner to corner of this chessboard.
Wow.
So even if, you're bismillah mashallah, you're not going to eat a whole brisket by yourself.
Yeah.
So
you need to do something with it.
You have to invite the squad. So cameraman 1, cameraman 2, all of us put together. We still couldn't finish a brisket. So you're talking 10, 15 people. 10, 15 people came over. And then the next weekend, I couldn't invite the same 10, 15 people. Then those 10, 15 people. Then those 10, 15 people. And then, honestly speaking, while I was working a regular oil and gas job, at the time I was a sales director, and then got to be the vice president of that company, I had my Bruce Wayne, which is super cool because in the studio I saw Bruce Wayne and Batman. Yeah. So I had a Bruce Wayne, well-to-do member of society, Thai, and then I had a Batman. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the Batman was saving people one brisket at a time at night, cooking over. It was my alter ego, legit. And then the Batman alter ego took over from Bruce Wayne. And I started doing less and less oil and gas and more barbecue until you turned into what it is today.
Guys, welcome to another episode of Jibber with Jabber. Today, joining me is, I could say, the best barbecuer in the world.
Maybe.
I'm gonna throw it out there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I could say a lot of people would say very established, the best barbecuer in the UAE.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you a story of how we met.
Yes, sir.
We met at Seoul DXB.
Correct.
I actually fell in love with you from the first second I started speaking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Ask me why.
Why?
Give me a second to make something up. But, no, I think, and obviously because it is kind of what you stand for, there was an instant feel of connection and an instant feel of you wanted to make me happy.
Yes, sir.
And I thought about what I just said very, very carefully.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, you wanted to make me happy with your meat.
Yeah.
Now saying
that's even
worse.
You definitely didn't think about that one.
Now saying that isn't the right thing to say. Yeah. Yeah. So, but it was very a case of, I love people who are passionate, and I kick myself that I'm not passionate enough about something.
But you are.
And I know what you're going to say,
yeah.
But no, it's a different thing.
There's still more.
It's a different thing because you get people in life who, from the second they're born, they want to be a pilot. You know, that kind of passion that all they think about is planes and all they think. Like, I could tell very quickly that all you thought, here we go again, all you thought about was me. No, that all you thought about was food and feeding people and giving them something that you thought they had never had the experience of before to that level. And I really respect and appreciate that, and it kind of it warms my heart when I see people who have found that one thing that they absolutely adore. And when I tried the sandwiches,
yes, there you go,
it was absolutely amazing. And I, again, from the way you described, from the way you were talking, from the way you just were as a person, the light you were shining of happiness and that, I knew already it was going to taste like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but did it taste like that?
No
No association. Did it taste like it wasn't hype?
No, it wasn't hype. But the thing is, I already knew.
Yeah. Okay.
Because somebody can only be so confident about something when they know.
Sah. I agree
You know
with
what I mean?
that. I agree
You can
with
when somebody's pitching you something, you can kind of tell they're not quite sure about it.
that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
With
yeah,
certain
yeah,
things. Like you were absolutely sure to the point that you were kind of like a kid going, I just want to, like
I wanna see
you
your
wait.
reaction.
You
Yes,
literally
yes,
wait
100%.
and look
Yeah.
to see people's reactions the second
That's
that
absolutely
it goes
true.
into things.
Yeah.
And you came and you sat with us while we were eating
Yeah.
it. And that whole thing altogether
Yeah.
is just beautiful.
Yeah.
But let me take it back before that.
Okay.
How did you get into meat? Because I know that wasn't your original job, and I
Yeah.
know you come from an Arab family, and I
Yeah.
know you were either an engineer,
Yeah.
a doctor, or a lawyer, or
No, you know,
something.
your intro. First of all, thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
About
I expect to be paid its weight in meat.
in
In
your way,
sandwiches.
your way. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But you know, I didn't think I never knew food was my thing until it became my thing. I thought combat sports was going to be my thing. And like I strove to the ends of the earth to make that my thing, and naturally, you know, predisposed to it, and but I didn't figure out food was my thing, and I like fell into it by accident. But you know the Arabic word al-fitra?
Yeah.
Like it was just something that I took to.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of adjustment to do, and there wasn't like learning didn't feel like learning. It was flow. 9 hours later, I'm like, what? Where did you know what I mean? But yeah, the food thing when I was in university, so way back before this, I couldn't wait to get out of the house. I'm just, you know, I'm very, what's the correct word? I'm very nonchalant about organization. So that's, you know, I'm a very messy person. So open the fridge, drink from the carton. My mom would catch me. She's like, how many times you know what I mean? So I couldn't wait to get out of the house and go eat junk. My mom cooks for the entire family, right? Both sides of the family, my mom's and my dad's. And so every day I was blessed. Alhamdulillah wal-fadlillah. My mom was battu, mulukhiyya, ufrekh, ma'luba, mahshi, like all of the Egyptian staples.
And all of it at once when there's no need, right? It's like most people would be like,
oh, just
like
one.
white
just
people
the
would be like,
yeah.
they're telling you this,
100%.
and this is what we have on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
But us as Arabs, none of that
Everything
was the
table
one
at the
meal,
same
right?
time.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And homemade mukhalil,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
homemade marabba, and so I thought that was just regular life.
Yeah.
But you know what? Too much of a good thing. So I'm just like, I can't wait to go to university and eat whatever I want and drink from the carton, walk around the house in my boxers. Anyways, lo and behold, get to university, open the fridge, drink from the carton once, twice, 3 weeks in, and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then McDonald's, Toonie Tuesdays at KFC. I was in Canada, obviously, Toonie. And then the $1.69 menu at McDonald's, so big. And then 3 weeks in, I was like, this sucks.
Yeah. And I
then
feel like shit as well.
Yeah. And then, no, I was 18 then. You know, I was just like, you know, I could power through 4 Big Macs like this, no sweat. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, I miss tom, wa kamoon, wa lamoon, all of this stuff. So I came back. Obviously, حنيت على إيد أمي. I like kissed my mom's hand, and I'm like, will you please?
You're telling her the
teach me,
stories, right?
please?
I had this white friend. He said, we're going to eat at his mom's house. I was so excited.
Man,
and they made me cheese toast.
Wallahi, you know what? We ended up going to an Iraqi place, a Chaldean place, downtown Windsor called Windsor Palace. Shout out to Windsor Palace, by the way. We love you guys.
Shout out.
Yeah, if they're still around. But I literally spent that Christmas, when we still had Christmas breaks, that was like a month. And I spent Christmas with my mom in the kitchen, learning how to make the basics. Bamia, fasolya, batatas, صينية batatas في الفرن, kebab حلة, you know, all of the Egyptian staples.
With your mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I came back to university to cook that for myself. And I had a Kuwaiti roommate, Fawaz al-Rasheed, God bless him. And that was 3rd year university. But the first 2 years, I was cooking in a predominantly Caucasian household. We had one Jamaican guy.
You can say white devil, that's fine.
Yeah. Predominantly non-Arab household.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I became, and that house became the house where the Egyptian squad used to come eat. Even though we weren't in the same faculty. They were engineering, I don't know what, automotive, human kinetics, da 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 da. And it was like, بقول لك إيه هنروح نذاكر عند حاتم and you know عملت إيه النهاردة عملت ملوخية. Okay, package that, put a pin in that, right? University, you know, and then I had my fight career to go along with that. Da 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 da. Got married, had children.
Wait. I'm big, as you can see, I'm big into fighting, dude.
Yes.
So can we talk a little bit about that? What fight career, which discipline, what about?
So believe it or not, and I know all of your UFC fans, I was roommates with Mark the Machine Hominick for 3 years out of university. Trained out of Team Tompkins with the late, great Sean Tompkins, God rest his soul. Mark Hominick fought Jose Aldo for the title, took him the full 5 rounds. Almost had him too, but, you know, came out with a giant hematoma. Went undefeated in my kickboxing career. Fought in London, fought in Windsor, fought in Montreal. We used to...
For which promotion?
They were all smoke shows, and then there was the undercard for UCC, which was the organization that launched George St. Pierre, Dave Loiseau, all of those guys, Patrick Cote. So we trained with those guys. We trained with Chuck Liddell, Anderson Silva, BJ Penn. All of this was prior to the Ultimate Fighter. So I made my first fight. I made $60. That's how much money was in fighting at the time.
Wow. I mean, it's 70 now. So
yeah. So, you know, we didn't fight. We didn't fight for the money. We fought for sport, and we were Canada's premier striking team. So I thought that's what I was going to do. Obviously, when I went to propose to my ex-wife's father, he was like, "What do you do for a living?" And I was like, "I don't know how to tell you this, but أنا مصارع." And he's like, "يلا حبيبي اشرب الشاي وتفضل." I'm like, okay. So I went anyways. I got a job. Fast forward. You know, still cooking at the house, still doing like regular life. Okay, and then for an oil and gas job, I got to try Texas brisket in 2014 and realized that I had never had anything like this before in my life. Even barbecue, like what we call barbecue, shish tawuk, kofta, كل الكلام ده, is in the culinary sense of the word is called grilling. And then barbecue, low and slow, American barbecue didn't exist here at the time. So I was flying back with
smoking,
it. Yeah, exactly. Kind of stuff, flying back with it in my suitcase and getting stopped at both airports.
Flying back with cooked stuff.
Cooked, vacuum sealed. So, okay, look, I mean, now I'm kind of clean shaven, but Arab guy, okay, Houston Airport, George Bush, okay, don't laugh. George Bush, Intercontinental Airport, standing in line, and they're like, do not pet the canines, you know, random spot checks, da-da-da-da. I'm standing in line, Beagle walks, just beeline, straight to me, walks up to me, starts, and everybody, all of the moms are like, oh my God, look at that guy. And I'm like, I swear to God, it's laham.
He's a terrorist, but he's still hot.
No, I'm like, it's not drugs. It's not anything. You know what I mean? So
which is normal, though, by the way, because us growing up as Arabs,
we fly.
No
with
one
food
has
back
flied without taking mlokhiyya or bamia or something for someone's auntie in another country, bro.
Listen, we used to, when in university as well, I used to fly back with pickled ليمون معصفر المصري. ليمون معصفر, مربى.
Nice.
And sometimes, can't say it, sometimes like mish وجبنة قديمة in like, you know, well-taped jars. So anyways, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I got to start doing it myself. A piece of brisket, it will take the length corner to corner of this chessboard.
Wow.
So even if, I mean, you're bismillah mashallah, you're not going to eat a whole brisket by yourself.
So you need to do something with it.
You have to invite the squad. So cameraman 1, cameraman 2, all of us put together. We still couldn't finish a brisket. So you're talking 10, 15 people. 10, 15 people came over. And then the next weekend, I couldn't invite the same 10, 15 people. Then those 10, 15 people. Then those 10, 15 people. And then, honestly speaking, while I was working a regular oil and gas job, at the time I was a sales director, and then got to be the vice president of that company, I had my Bruce Wayne, which is super cool because in the studio I saw Bruce Wayne and Batman. So I had a Bruce Wayne, well-to-do member of society, Thai, and then I had a Batman. You know what I mean? And the Batman was saving people one brisket at a time at night, cooking over. It was my alter ego, legit. And then the Batman alter ego took over from Bruce Wayne, and I started doing less and less oil and gas and more barbecue until you turned into what it is today. literally by accident.
So the truth is, you found out you were going to get fired, and you were like, "I need to find something quick."
AJ, you know how long? I did both jobs. Oh my God! Until November of I did both jobs for 7 years.
Wow.
With rest, with yes, no, yeah,
and jits as well, because this is something that I didn't know about you, and when I heard it, it moved. Like, 'cause whenever I meet somebody who does jits or whatever, like look, you want to wear a Halloween costume, borrow a black belt, because there's nothing scarier than a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
But don't wear it. But don't wear it. But don't wear the black belt, you know?
But like,
but you know, there's, I think all of us have passions exactly like you said. And life and the demands of life, whether it's a job, whether it's a partner, whether it's the other passion that you think is going to be your passion, children, your friends, take from your 24-hour day. And what you have to sacrifice when you're slicing up your pie is one of those things. The guys that are one-dimensional, that are world champion black belts, that are world champion barbecue guys, that are world champion stunt pilot, whatever they are, Kasparov, you know, all of those guys, the only thing they do is that. And they give up their friends, their social life, their sleep potentially, all of that. So if you're passionate about a lot of things, you end up being mediocre to average, to a little bit above average in some things, but you're not the world beater. You're not pound for pound. But yeah, jits, I got my brown belt 3 weeks ago. It's longer than I would have liked to take. And
it
still
doesn't come quick, bro. In jiu-jitsu anyway, dude. Like, how long have you been doing jits now?
2007. So really long.
How long is that? I'm not very good at maths anymore.
10, 5, 15 years.
That's not long at all.
No, a black belt is 10 years. If you're diligent
considering
with it.
You're doing...
Yes,
you're
correct.
doing a full-time job and fighting crime at night.
So yes. So one of the teachers that actually gave me my black belt that I hugged, and he did the announcement and called me up. Shout out to Ricky. Was a white belt. I taught him his first triangle.
Wow.
And then he became coach.
Wow.
So I've been doing it that long, but just haven't had the time. I don't want to say that. Haven't had the time. Have had other focuses to take away from that. And you know, between jiu-jitsu, between barbecue, jiu-jitsu, and all of your other extracurriculars, you have to decide which one you want to be your thing. And I've decided barbecue is going to be my thing.
Yeah, but how much do you think jits actually helped you with the other things? Because you don't do jiu-jitsu and not have something very wrong with you mentally, in a sense where, okay, look, so I think the stats are only 2% of people that ever start jiu-jitsu continue to black belt.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that low?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not a, like, do you know what I mean? A lot of people will start jiu-jitsu and then just be like, I'm tired of not breathing. Yeah. And I'm tired of not progressing. And I'm tired because it's not karate. No. I'm telling you right now, if me and you will leave this place now and go to a karate dojo, next week we'll be,
get a black belt.
We'll be like, where should we open our dojo? Do you know what I mean? Finding a place to do it.
Yeah.
I almost punched a kid in the face the other day. I was outside in my house. And he was like, I think he's about 6 years old.
Okay.
And he's
yeah.
And I was just like, I was looking at him and I was just like, you know, I'd break you, right? Do you know what I mean? Don't get too cocky, bro. You're 6 years old. That means nothing. I'll strangle you with your own belt. Dude.
That's the martial art, the UFC. Prior to the advent of the UFC, there was no comparative way to compare all of the martial arts. And jiu-jitsu literally put everyone on notice. Your kung fu, your taekwondo, your all of that stuff was, unless it was Kyokushin karate, right? Lyoto Machida, GSP, all of those guys, unless it was Kyokushin karate and Muay Thai.
They still need jiu-jitsu as well. I mean, I had Hoist on the show as well, and he was like telling me, like, in that first one, like, there was no refs. There was people biting.
There was some guy there just to make sure that you didn't die.
Yeah, exactly. But there was people biting people. So when Hoist came and he was this mild-mannered, very thin, small guy. Yeah. And he was doing that to Ken Shamrock, who was obviously
the more superior male athlete,
the biggest roid dealer in the world. At the time. Like it shows, hey, this is something to look at. 100%. You know, it changed everyone's perspective.
But you know what, like you said about jiu-jitsu, it's probably too philosophical for the show, but excuse me. I mean, I don't want to get like.
What are you trying to say about my show, bro? That's not what I mean. Will not have that. So, guys, for my clip guy, could you make that a clip, please?
No, that's not what I mean.
It's too philosophical.
No, I mean we're hanging out. We're shooting the breeze. No. I mean, jiu-jitsu, what you have to do if you're in a chokehold or an ankle lock or whatever it is, the move to tell someone you've got me is to submit.
Yeah, to tap.
Okay? To tap out. And some
But I
people,
already submit to Islam, so I'm used to submitting
there
to
you go. Hey, man, wallahi, that's no joke. Wallahi,
yeah.
that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. So your thing is, man, I know the CEO's brother. Okay? So you go apply for that job.
Yeah.
And because of your connection, you think because of your connection to the CEO's brother, that you're going to get the gig. Yeah? You go, you send your CV and you think it's a shoe-in. Bro. And then you don't get the job. You have to submit to the fact that there is a plan larger than your own, and you have no idea. You know what I mean? And then on the flip side, barbecue and jiu-jitsu and a lot of stuff in life, when you're learning, you make thousands of mistakes before you say you're a novice, before you say you're a blue belt, whatever it is. Before you call yourself, before someone else calls you out, you're calling yourself out by doing this. You know, by doing this, saying, I don't know this. I willingly admit that I don't know what you did. Literally. So when someone's like, bro.
Literally.
Yeah, 100%.
Literally. I mean, I've been put in things before, and after I've tapped, I've then sat up and gone,
I don't even know.
You want to explain to me what the hell that was that you just did?
Bro.
Because this, I haven't seen this one before either.
100%.
And sometimes the guys will go, I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I just
yes.
I just felt like
yes.
that I should move into that position, and it worked. Like,
we were
very intuitive.
Jansen Gomez, one of the world champions, young world champion, 21 years old, if I'm not mistaken, was in our gym at Team Noguera training, and we were going just, you know, as much as you can go with a black belt, right? And I was going. He was like walking the park. At one point in time, he wrapped my own kimono around my wrist, and I literally looked at my wrist, then looked at him. He smiled, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he started pulling it, and you're waving to yourself
yes,
like,
yes.
Yeah.
But in that sense, in the philosophical sense, being able to admit that you have made a mistake makes it so much easier when someone calls you out on your mistake. Your automatic reaction is no. No.
Yeah.
And if you admit to yourself that you've made that mistake, anyone else calling you out on your mistake, you're like, no problem.
But this is the thing as well. With jiu-jitsu, see, in a normal life situation, you can find a way out. You can pretend you didn't make the mistake.
Yeah.
You can talk your way out of a mistake. In jiu-jitsu, you're making a lot of mistakes, especially in the beginning. Like, you cannot not admit to the mistake, because if you don't, you're going to sleep.
Not only, no. So me and my cousin had a no tap policy to chokes in our tournaments. We wouldn't tap to chokes. We'd go to sleep.
Yeah.
Which was stupid.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do as I do as I say.
Yeah.
But an arm lock or a heel hook or a knee bar, that's 6 months of surgery. You don't want that. Check your pride at the door.
And it's 6 months out as well.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But you know, listen, like the grabbing your kimono. If I grabbed your shirt right now, your automatic reaction would be to pull away, which creates tension.
Yeah.
That tension allows me to work, right? And then the flip side of that and the actual solution is to actually come closer to the person. Philosophically speaking, you think about that. Get the tension out of your automatic reaction. Isn't defense. Your automatic reaction, usually your automatic reaction, your lizard brain is wrong. And if you take the time to realize that pulling away with your kimono and creating that tension allows the guy to set something up, now turn that into your day-to-day life. Someone says something, you're like, what?
It's all about
you're
flow.
Like, no, just
be
take
like
it.
Water, my friend.
Yeah, be like water.
Water can crash.
Yes, that. All of those things translate from jiu-jitsu into a lot of things in barbecue and a lot of things in life. And if you can survive that grind day in, day out, people beating on you when you're a white belt and a blue belt and a purple belt, and then when you think you've made it, then you got a brown belt, and now you've got a target on your back. Someone taps a brown belt, they go tell their friends. So you got to up your game, because tapping a blue belt, no problem. Purple belt.
But also, it's community as well is really important. And the flip side of that, now, that CEO thing that you were talking about. Yeah. Now, you know the CEO's brother. Yeah. You go for the meeting. Yeah. You don't get the job. Yeah. You know the CEO's brother. You're not getting the job, but he says, where are you going at the end? and you say, "Oh, I got jits. I'm going to jiu-jitsu."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, you do jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Who do you train under?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it?"
Yeah.
"I've been doing it 20 years."
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that little one thing in common,
Maybe
because
could
they
get you.
know the grind and they
100%.
know what they go. "Oh, what belt are you? Brown? Okay, this guy is he's a grinder. He'll
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
This guy is not a quitter." Do you know what I mean? So on the flip side of it, it's got that kind of camaraderie and connection that it's like, when you meet another Egyptian, you're just like, the Masri, do you know what I mean?
الدم المصري
You know what I
بيحن.
mean?
Yeah.
So automatically, like, you have your soldiers of war, right? You have a common thing that know that.
It's a big community globally, and anywhere that we've been on the barbecue circuit, London, Sydney, Texas, Washington, California, even across the Middle East. We take either my no-gi stuff or my gi, and we'll stop off at different gyms, and right away you're welcome, man. Where do you train? What's your name? And it is
Especially
a small,
with brisket. You got a lot of time. There's going to be 15
I
hours,
can
bro.
smell it.
15 hours. We've got time to waste.
It's a small community to be a part of, and for the most part, everyone's like, welcome. Yeah, they'll tap the shit out of you. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll
they'll
swear on this all the time.
they'll tap
You
the
hear how I
shit.
introduced the episode? I was like, another fucking episode.
They'll tap the shit out of you, but
Yeah.
hey, at the end of the day, thank
Yeah.
you, peace, I'm out.
Do you know the one thing that surprised me? The level of fame your food got you within the community. Because I've never seen... Do you class yourself as a chef?
No, because that means you have to be able to make things other than barbecue. I'm a pit master.
Okay, a pit master.
Yeah.
I've never seen a chef or a pit master or anyone have that kind of response or know that many people than when we were walking around Seoul. Like amount of people that knew you, that were so happy to come and talk to you, that wanted to make an effort to say something to you.
Yeah.
And even during our interview, you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And everyone's pointing. You're like, I'm like, "What this dickhead?" It was like, "This is my show, bro. What you see there? Put your hands down, bro. What's this about? Concentrate. We're doing a show."
Bro.
But like, so many people knew you, but you could tell that they knew you through a positive experience.
Yeah.
And that's what the food was, right?
But that's again, let's say you and I are having a conversation, this conversation that we had about jiu-jitsu. That's a small community, right? Then let's say we go off topic and we start talking about Marvel with all of the studio stuff that you've got on. That's also a small community. Do you know what everybody does 3 times a day, 5 times a day? They eat. Do you know what the only cuisine that every country on the planet has in common? No. Barbecue. Right? Because we had, not trying to hate, by the way, we did a barbecue tour of the US, and we cooked at the Smithsonian this summer.
Wow.
Which was like, but anyways, we did the whole introduction that I told you about with Arabic hospitality and stuff like that, and I'm like, where's everybody from? Can I get a reaction from the crowd? Who's from out of town? Da 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 da. And I'm like, do you know what we all have in common? Everyone's like, food. And I'm like, do you know what cuisine we all have in common? They're like, barbecue. And one girl,
Why were they talking like that?
I'll tell you because
Barbecue.
I'll tell you because it's the US. Wait, it gets worse. Some girl in the back.
What do you guys want? Me.
No way, Lululemon. She's like, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get this girl the mic. And she's like, what about the vegetarian cultures of Southeast Asia? And I'm like, you know what? Oh my God. Do you know what they do to their vegetables? She's like, what? I'm like, they grill them. And everyone's like, ooh. She's like, whatever. Yeah. And she just walks off. Even the vegetarian cultures of the world have a tradition of grilling their vegetables. So if
cooking them underground as well.
100% Curanto in the South American continent. Yeah. So all of the cuisines of the world have that in common. So when you put that on a table, you're automatically speaking to 195 nationalities. With Freak. The guys from Five Pillars.
It was everyone. It was everyone who walked there, and it wasn't like they were walking past your shop, so they were doing that. Oh, hi.
Yeah.
It was oh shit, let me just go and say hello. Coming from nowhere.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a small community. I guess within this big community, is another small community of real, recognized real, right? Because good food there's a difference between good food and food. Because I'm sure not a lot of restaurant owners here have the same kind of vibe.
So Shuf, no, there's, man, the food community is probably the coolest community to be a part of in the UAE, because I would say for the most part, 85% of the food community is super supportive. We share suppliers. Where did you get the beef? We have a guy that's not working for us anymore, but is looking for a job, super, super tight knit. But Time Out magazine has stations in Hong Kong, New York, all of these places. Time Out Dubai literally put all of them on notice. Not put them on notice, but literally said publicly to all of the most competitive food city in the world currently is Dubai.
Really?
17,000 restaurants in Dubai. 7 out of 10 restaurants globally, this is a global statistic, 7 out of 10 restaurants close within their first year. So if you and in general, Dubai is very flash in the pan, 2 years. So if you're older than 2 years, shout out to anybody in the food industry that's older than 2 years and you're still around, man, good for you. You have to reinvent yourself over and over. Stay top of mind. Make sure your quality is the same, if not better. And make sure you're still always pushing the envelope for what you're known for. You know what I mean? Or else people are like, it becomes old hat. No one's going to have the same food over and over and over and over. And if you're not releasing a new burger, a new pizza, a new mendi, a new something, yeah, I've had that 3 or 4 times. Khalas, how many more times can I have it? You know? So it's a small community, and it is very supportive, but it is cutthroat.
Yeah, but how many brisket places are here?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
And we say this with the greatest humility. We're not in the brisket business.
Really?
Nope, we're not in the brisket business. We're in the...
Then what else haven't you fed me, bro?
No. We're in the Mattar business,
Yeah.
and we're the only ones doing it.
Which is everything that we spoke about in the intro and everything before.
There's a lot of people that do brisket in the city, and God bless them, because their work is our work. Their work getting the word out there about barbecue and how long it takes is our work, and we appreciate them for it. We're the first. Doesn't matter, right? It's hard work beats talent. So we're always working hard, but we're not in the barbecue business. We're in the business of Mattar, and guess what? We're the only ones doing it. So if there's another brisket place, good for them.
But barbecuing in general is a vibe.
Yes.
Like nobody
Block party.
does shit barbecues, right? Like
cap backwards, jersey.
And everybody wants to eat that fresh. Like, for example, I have a friend. I'm not going to drop any names. You probably know who it is.
Okay.
I don't like his friends. Right?
Okay. You'll whisper to me after this. Yeah.
I don't like his group.
Okay. Food related?
No.
Okay.
But he barbecues a lot.
Okay.
But he barbecues well.
Okay.
So I go to these things because I know the food's going to be good. The company's not great.
Yeah.
But the food's going to be great.
Okay.
So that shows you the power of food.
Yeah.
Even though
you'll put up with the bad vibe.
I'll put up with this bougie vibe just because I like the way he smokes his meat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, nobody lights a barbecue for one hot dog. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're taking the time, whether you're lighting a gas grill, whether you're lighting a gas grill or a charcoal grill, you are taking the time to do that for a group.
Yeah.
And that group
for
is
all those dickheads and me.
and usually it is for a group of people that you care about.
Yeah.
Right? And in the hospitality sector, you care about all of your customers coming in. So you're putting in the time and effort to light that barbecue to make good food. You're not going to buy 2 dirham hot dogs. You're going out to make sure that it's a real hot dog with real all of that stuff. So barbecue is one of those cuisines that you can't cookie cut. And my kryptonite is cookie cutting. I love chocolate chip cookies, but the live fire cuisine.
Why are you pointing at that? I mean, I'm not cookie cutting, bro. Why are you getting so aggressive, bro?
No, I'm saying
he's like, listen,
live fire cuisine by nature.
Yeah.
Is
how we started, right?
Is different every time you make it. Every time you can make that kufta, right? One day it's relatively the same, but the weather was different that day. The charcoal was different that day. If you're using, regular live oak, lump charcoal, it's different. And you can tell people keep coming back over and over for that kind of food because it's not cookie cut. It's not standard. You're looking for that difference in flavor or that nuanced flavor from one day to the next. And like you said, people will travel the world for good barbecue, even if it's a shitty vibe. People will.
Bro, I like the meat in Argentina. Okay. Ooh, this is very interesting.
Okay.
Because you've got a different opinion.
No.
I was gonna say that I spent 2 years traveling around the world.
Okay.
I landed in Argentina.
Okay.
My stay there was 4 days. I was gonna go to Foz do Iguaçu straight to Brazil. Or I was gonna say Brasil.
É o Brasil.
Eu falo português, porra.
É um porra.
I stayed for 4.5 weeks.
Wow.
I extended. I had 42 steaks in that time because it was like butter, dude. And before then, I would like well done my steaks before I went there. But there, I was basically eating the thing straight off the
cow.
Literally just cutting it off,
the
and then the guy would get a lighter and just light it a little bit underneath.
Blue.
Yeah,
They call that blue.
And just literally like butter.
So my best friend is Argentinian, Marcos Hastrup. This one's for you. I cowboyed in Argentina. Actually, I was a gaucho.
You were caballero.
Gaucho.
Gaucho.
Yeah, I lost my pinky cowboying.
Wow.
But
shouldn't have done that to the horse, to be honest. It's not every horse likes that kind of shit. Do you know what I mean?
I did the
Arab horse, bro.
I did the Iguazu thing as well, but the Argentinian grill is called the parrilla.
Yeah.
Pronounced that way because that's how they pronounce their double L's.
They're different in Brazil.
But Argentinian meat is grass-fed. The meat that we use is grain-fed.
Okay.
For a higher marbling of the fat because of the amount of calories in grain versus grass.
Mm-hmm.
And grass-fed meat is a lot more nuanced in its flavor because the grass is different. Something in the culinary sense is called terroir, and it's actually terroir.
Français. Oh,
and it is literally the flavor of the earth. So the grass they eat there is different than the grass they eat in Wales. Yeah. Which is why Welsh lamb tastes the way it does, and all of that stuff.
We're not going to talk about what the Welsh people do to the sheep and the lamb, to be honest. That's why it tastes like that, bro.
One of my really good friends, Chris Roberts Flamebaster, is a Welsh chef.
Man, are you all WWF wrestlers? You've all got these names, bro.
Yeah,
just like
he's
Flamebaster.
Yeah, I swear to God. Yeah. You know why? Because he bastes his meat with this thing called a flambadou. He puts fat that sets on fire, and then he drops it over food.
Okay.
Oh, he's a wizard. He cooked this summer in London. He cooked ox heart, okay, on a flatbread that he made, and then basted it with that flame baster. And you could tell that it was Welsh because of the flavor of the... I'm not going to... Come on, man. He's going to watch this episode, Chris. Forgive me, please.
Chris, what kind of flavors are you putting in there?
Forgive me. Yeah. But absolutely, the Argentinian thing, and like I said, Japanese beef, American beef, Brazilian. There's such thing in the UAE as Polish beef. The Poles import their beef.
Just jacked cows, that are just really good at doing like
beef.
odd jobs.
Traps, just traps.
Just like a cow that can also fix something.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys say this on the show. I'm not trying to get cancelled, man.
Bro, all my friends are Polish. Kurwa, match. I can talk this. Right,
my cousins are half Polish.
Yeah, there you go, man. You can say it.
But
so the cow fixes the tap and then
and then becomes a steak.
Okay.
But all of the meats around the world, and they have them different ways. There's اللحمة المصرية, kebab حلة, is completely different because it's ox. It's gamoose.
Yeah.
And so is ruz b'leban. You know what I mean? That's ox milk. So all of those cuisines, but when you put it on a grill, all of a sudden there's a connection between all of those places. Even if the meat is different and comes from a different place, putting it over fire, you're like, I recognize that.
You probably, but most people are.
Wallahi. When we used to do our events at Al Circal, probably 60 nationalities by the time the 2-hour line was done. Someone would say something in Japanese, and I'm like, what'd you say? He's like, this reminds me of home.
In Japanese?
In Japanese. And I asked them what they say. Then somebody else, Turkish, he's like, oh, this reminds me of home. This reminds me of home.
You made a t-shirt that said that after the event?
I should. Right? I should.
Yeah.
But essentially, same wood, same smell, same sandwich, 60 different nationalities, and they all say the same thing.
Okay, since we're at this stage now, and we've brought up the thing, and since this podcast can't get any worse, let's talk meat now. All right? I want to be very specific with meat now. So first off, we're going to do a little game that I just invented.
Okay.
No, palms down.
Palms down.
No reason whatsoever for that. Let's talk meats.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Churrasco,
like Brazilian meat, Argentinian meat, Japanese. Like if you could only cook with one meat left now, like okay, so here's a scenario.
Brad Pitt, you're really
Brad
making
Pitt
up this game on the fly.
Brad Pitt is on an airplane.
Okay,
it's World War Z.
Okay.
For some reason, people have been doing that stuff to horses. They're all gone.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been losing little fingers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing left apart from one type of meat in one region. Which one do you choose to save the world? And the only way you can save the world is by feeding everyone to stop the war, because everyone's getting a bit agitated.
Australian lamb.
Okay.
American beef. Easy.
Okay, so you didn't get the rules of the game. One meat.
One meat.
You can't have both of them. American, really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything American being natural without being pumped full of some kind of roid or some kind of...
Totally not true.
Oh, you're talking about Midwest.
I'm talking about Midwest. Okay. Midwest.
Because they're like not the same. Yeah.
So plenty of space for them to roam around, and their breeds. There's an Angus cow. There's a Brahma cow.
So we're going with American over Australian.
Yeah. For beef, for me, and for our cuisine specifically, because our cuisine requires a brisket has to stay in the smoker for 18 hours. If it doesn't have the fat content, after I've spent all that time, I'm going to feed you a dry brisket, which would be a waste of time. So we need something with very high fat content. The alternative to that is very high marbling score Australian beef that's grass fed, but MB7, MB8, almost Wagyu, which makes it cost prohibitive to make a regular sandwich for people. You know what I mean? So yeah, American beef, Australian lamb.
Why though?
Because of its fat content. And
you just said that, right? I just asked you a question that you already answered.
Yeah,
so that's not very good.
Because of its fat content and its flavor profile, and obviously the quality and consistency of the Midwest, the American Midwest.
Okay, what's the difference in the different? Because I'm trying to learn here. Because I'm trying to make Mattar.
Jibber Barbecuer.
Jibber Barbecuer. I'm trying to do anything so I can sell. Man. It's either going to be perfume or barbecue.
I got you.
I want to make a spicy sauce.
JBBQ.
JBBQ.
It's almost there.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the question?
What was the question?
You said what is the difference between them?
Between coal, gas, wood, and all that stuff, and what mistakes people do, and what kind of do you ever get these things where, like, have you ever triangle choked someone because you went to their house and they had a gas stove or something?
So look, our thing is live fire cuisine. The gas takes the guesswork and the flavor out of it, right? It's still over fire, but it's not the same as charcoal. Not even close. And charcoal is not the same as wood.
So wood is supreme? What's supreme?
Depends on what you're cooking, there isn't. That's the thing. Like, what's the best cuisine in the world? It's relative, right? India,
well,
Chinese.
I can tell you, Mattar.
Yeah, no, I would say Hattem. That's the best cuisine in the world. But that's all relative. So depends on what you're cooking. Some things lend themselves well to wood cooking. Some things lend themselves well to charcoal. Some things lend themselves well to a gas oven where you can crank it up all the way and do a Neapolitan pizza. Would it taste better if it was in a charcoal or a wood-fired olive oven? Yes, it would. But the difference is in wood, and this is a fantastic question, very astute of you. The first ingredient in barbecue is?
Smell. Fire.
100%.
Yeah.
Your fuel source.
Yeah.
So if you spice a brisket, salt, pepper, garlic, which is basics, salt, pepper, garlic, put it in your smoker over oak versus over mesquite versus over hickory versus over pecan, you will get 4 different briskets. 100%.
Wow.
And you'll be able to taste them. Hickory is the strongest of the woods, followed by mesquite, and then all the way until you get to your fruit woods. Fruit woods lend themselves well to poultry and fish. Hickory makes everything taste like bacon. So you can put a cheesecake to bake in a hickory fired smoker, and it would taste like bacon cheesecake.
Wow.
So your fuel source and your wood source is absolutely important, and it's probably the first thing that you need to get right, because 18 hours later, you're not covering that with sauce.
Yeah.
That's 18 hours worth of mistake if you get it wrong.
Here's the thing. Is it a long learning curve to do? Because, this is Dubai, right? So you know how it is in Dubai. One guy will go to his friend's house, he'll do a barbecue with a smoker, and then he'll be like, I'm buying a smoker tomorrow, and then let's start doing, and I'm a smoker now.
You know what they say?
Do you know what I mean?
In the UK, they say all the gear and no idea.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen this happen a lot. So, kind of what is the way to...
Barrier to entry is you need to be able to handle your smoker in the Dubai summer, 50 degrees Celsius outside, and be doing it because you love it, because you're not going to do it because it's making you any money, I'll tell you that. 18 hours worth of mistake. The next day, if you get it wrong, whether it was the spice, whether it was the wood, whether it was how much oxygen, when you wrapped, to spray or not to spray, to sauce or not to sauce, when you open it up the next day, guess how many variables you can change at a time? Just the one. So you adjust that variable, that doesn't work. Then you adjust that variable, that doesn't work. That by the time you've gone through, it's It's a long.
What do you do with all that meat as well? Just give it to all your friends that aren't very
Exactly.
don't have good palates, right?
Yeah, my boys.
Yeah.
My boys ate really well, and the wolf pack at home ate a lot.
Have you made a lot of mistakes, and maybe more so in the beginning when you were trying it? Or?
Yes, 100%. I made hundreds of kilos of bad brisket and bad barbecue until we got it right. I don't want to say we got it perfect because no one's made the perfect brisket.
Okay, here's another question, and I know this is going to hurt your feelings. Since I was a child.
Yes, sir.
So I was that cocky kind of like,
Okay.
Mama, can I have some? It's spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, I can handle it.
Yeah.
So she'd give it to me and
Yeah.
I'd burn my taste buds. I have no taste buds left when it comes to that. Like, you can get me the hottest spicy sauce and I'll eat it like ketchup.
Really?
And I love it. I love it.
It doesn't give you a physical reaction where you're sweating.
I might get sweat and stuff.
Yeah.
And the ring
But
of
you like
fire
it.
the next
Yeah.
day. But I love that. Like, I can't eat without it.
No, not me.
And I would say, and this is a very honest thing, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
When I ate the brisket that you made was probably the only meal that I haven't added sauce to.
Oh, nice.
And look,
Yes.
no. I'm not going to give you full credit because I didn't have sauce.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
I was in a place where I didn't. How does that kind of piss you off? If somebody comes, you make them this beautiful brisket, and then they come and they take out their travel spicy sauce and put it on there.
There is two schools of thought.
Is it personal?
There is two schools of thought. At the table in Texas, barbecue joints all over Texas, there's barbecue sauce on the table or barbecue sauce in the place where you go get your pickles and your onions and stuff like that. But think about going to an Italian restaurant and asking an Italian chef for ketchup when you order pizza. Same thing.
But I do ask them for spices. I ask them for chili sauce.
Chili sauce is okay because that's heat, but it's not sauce to cover up the flavor. But a lot of competition barbecue is now sweet barbecue sauce, and so our sandwiches come with a sauce, right? Or otherwise it's a dry sandwich. But our plates, barbecue sauce on the side. You want to use it, ahlan wa sahlan. You don't want to use it, that brisket is there just for you to enjoy.
Talk to me about Mattar Farm.
It's actually
before we go there. How do you feel about vegans?
We respect everybody's opinion.
Who's we?
We as our organization. My daughters.
It's like me and all the normal people.
My daughters came to me once. They spend time with their mother and then time with me, and both of them came to me one weekend 2 years ago, pre-corona. Said, "Papi, we're going vegetarian." I was like, why?
Like, it's haram. It's in the Quran. We're not supposed to. Oh, you said vegetarian. Same thing.
No, I was like, there's two reactions as a father and as a parent. If you say don't do that, the first thing they'll do.
Girls, bro.
With any kid. When we were young, or when someone now tells you don't do this, what's the first thing you want to do when they say don't do it? You want to do the thing that they told you not to. That's human psychology. So if I said no, you can't, I was like, okay, do your thing. I'm like, why? They're like, because it's bad for the environment. I said, that's not necessarily true. And we could talk about it, but no problem.
Also, don't eat avocados because...
Also, same thing. Yeah. But what I did was I took the biggest roll of chorizo that we had in the freezer, took it out, cast iron skillet in the oven, opened the oven when it was cooked, and the smell just over the farm and the house, and everyone's like, they came around the corner, the puppy, what are you making? I'm like, baby, I'm making chorizo.
It's
not
like, capsicum.
I'll tell you that. They're like, for what? I'm like, for me. Then I see them whispering. I said, what? They said, nothing. I said, okay, fine. No problem. Slice into it, toast me some bread, sit down, start having. I'm like, what do you guys want to eat? They're like, we haven't decided yet. I said, okay, fine. Anyways, I finish eating, and they're literally like just pacing around, like bitofun, And then finally they're like, puppy, can you make us a sandwich? I said, baby, I thought you were vegetarian. They both look at each other like, we'll start next week. You know what I mean? But we have a vegan menu at our restaurants, not at Time Out. But we never get into the ethics of it. But we talk about when they're like, you're slaughtering animals. And listen, you do you, man. Lakum dinukum waliya din. I'm not trying to convince anybody. But when people are like, oh, the health benefits and all of this stuff, I'm like, with all due respect, I'm not trying to hate on, whatever you read, but we went from Cro-Magnon men, literally, cavemen with brains this big, into evolved. This is science. You can look this up. We evolved into Homo sapiens because we started eating meat. That extra energy, calories, kilocalories of energy that we were able to store allowed our brains to grow into what they are today. So when someone's like, we weren't supposed to be eating meat, I'm like, yeah, we would have stayed cavemen, no problem. And then on the flip side, when they're like, you shouldn't be eating that much meat, the truth is, that's true. You're not supposed to be eating that much meat. And the meat that is destroying the planet is the cheap meat that you're buying
from the store,
from those places that are cutting down rainforest and clearing land to make feedlots that are cheap meat. So if you're being a conscious consumer, you should be buying expensive meat, not because it's branded, but because it's well raised and because it's ethically slaughtered and it should be a luxury. It shouldn't be kulyum. That's why Eid is like kharoof, because meat is a luxury. It's not breakfast, lunch, and dinner, bacon, and then a burger, and then a steak for dinner. Absolutely not. You won't survive.
And we didn't eat that much meat either back in the day, because unless you could hunt for that stuff,
100%.
you're not finding it.
The hunter-gatherer thing, and then when you domesticated the animal, that was part of your tharwa. That was part of your wealth. So you were not slaughtering that to eat it. And when you did, it was an
Just
occasion.
walking around with a big cow.
100%.
Going,
Yeah. Yes.
check this booty out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was tharwa. It's not that you're having it. It was a luxury for
Yeah.
Eid. It was a luxury for somebody graduated, somebody got married. But now the abundance of food in the supermarket, and because it's packaged and has nice colors on it, you just pick it up without any thought to what went into it. But you should be eating higher quality
It's
meat.
messy, bro.
You should be eating higher quality meat, but less of it.
I once heard, and I saw a documentary about this, and it wasn't that kind of documentary, that, you know, when you go to these I don't want to say names of them, but these supermarkets or
Yes,
whatever.
yes, you're about
And
to say.
yeah, I was about to say them all.
Yeah.
And you never know who
No,
might
no,
sponsor,
no.
you know what I mean? Episode brought to you by
Yeah,
Choitrams. They have the counter, the meat counters.
Yes, sir.
And then they have those already seasoned ones
Yes.
with the flavors and the tikka
Yes, sir.
and all that stuff. So apparently they get the meat that's not being bought, that's getting a bit old, and then they kind of hide the color
Its
of the
age?
meat with it's aged with seasoning and stuff, and then they sell that off as skewers and whatever. So it's just a way for them to kind of recycle-ish the meat before
You know
they
what?
went and
Maybe
tested a lot of them, and it was like really old.
maybe abroad they do that, but here the consumer is so discerning, in my opinion, that they wouldn't be able to pass that off. If it was old meat, you'd be able to tell in either A, quality or flavor, unless it's like an off-cut.
Who though, bro? Because look, this is a thing that I think that you don't get. Your palate and your, vast knowledge of taste and meat is not the everyday guy.
Sah.
Like, you could just give anything to everyone. They'd be like, or go to one of those barbecues where they literally go and they buy the ready patted burgers, put it on, and they're like, this burger's amazing. And you would be like, what's this cardboard shit you guys are eating? Don't ever eat this again.
Yeah. But I mean, look.
And they paint them and dye them, right? Meat.
Where?
In the supermarkets.
They paint them.
Not with like a bucket and a paintbrush, but they actually dye the meat to make it look redder and stuff like that.
They wouldn't get away with that here. No way. No way.
No, everywhere in the world.
No way. I mean, maybe.
Bro, when you cut meat, it's purple. It's not red.
I don't know what meat you guys are getting. Our meat is red.
Your fresh meat is red.
It's
very dark.
First of all,
right?
Unless you're going to the slaughterhouse, you must know you can get fresh fruits and vegetables here that are locally grown.
Yeah.
There are no commercially available local meat sources. That's number one.
Right.
Number two is, think about what it takes to raise an animal, the water and the grass. We're in the desert. Doesn't exist.
Wait, let's talk about that, because you have a donkey in your house, bro.
Zonkey.
A zonkey, like that's
zonkey.
normal. Let's talk
A
about that.
zonkey.
I'm going to go away from that subject and talk about that, because you said that to me like it was a normal thing when we were talking before.
It's not a normal thing.
You showed me a video and you'd be like, look at this zonkey running around my garden.
Yeah, that's Inigo. We have a big space, alhamdulillah wal fadlillah, at our house that we use to raise livestock. Chickens,
so you
ducks.
have all of your... So it is a farm. You haven't just named it Mattar Farm.
So yeah, the uncomfortable part of that is that we are now just called Mattar, because Mattar Farm has been trademarked by other people and they still operate under that name. Yeah, well, can't say anything legally binding.
Do they have a farm, and are they called Mattar?
No, and they don't even know, honestly, they don't even know why it says established 2005, because it wasn't obviously established 2005 as a business, but they still use that tagline, which is ridiculous.
Have you approached them and said, hey, I am Mattar and I do have a farm?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I know a guy. We'll
Yeah,
have a
hey.
conversation. You know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
You know the guy.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we in Arabic, التقليد لا يدوم وحالة الإبداع, not إبداع as in you've done great things that you're creating, وحال الإبداع يتجدد.
You hear that, Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Copy me and do my stuff.
You know what I mean? So the name is irrelevant. Right? You could call it batikh, right? If you've got your ducks in a row, literally and figuratively, pun intended. The accident that I told you about, that we were having people over, we have chickens, ducks, rabbits, goats, zonkies, but like this is not all at the same time.
What's a zonkie? A zebra and a donkey?
Half zebra, half donkey. You saw him.
I saw him, but I didn't.
When you come.
You say that's normal, bro.
It's not, but we just have...
We're in the middle of a desert. First of all, there's no zebras around here.
I don't know. Listen,
like what kind of Tinder thing was this?
Yes,
that
exactly.
This donkey swiped on the donkey dad just swiped on.
I'm not asking lineage, but Inigo's he's a good kid. But we've got
so normal. Come to Dubai, Habibi.
It was an exercise to keep the kids plugged into analog life.
Okay.
Tamara and Hannah. I had both kids before I was 30. So 2009, 2011. Devices still hadn't made a big thing into daily life. So, not stuck on their screens growing up. Their mother did a great job with keeping them away from screens and teaching them herself and all of that stuff. After they got old enough, riding your bikes around town, doing all of that stuff, there isn't really the infrastructure for that. So we had to set up something at home to keep them occupied. So the fruits and vegetables we were planting along with the animals was an exercise to keep them plugged into analog life. And then when they got older, it was an exercise into teaching them about things without actually having to sit them down and say, listen, we're going to talk about gratitude, or we're going to talk about da-da-da-da. So we raise these animals all the way until summer season, to where it gets obnoxiously hot and everything wants to die anyway. We slaughter them.
Like all of us living in Dubai.
Exactly. They're just, the chicken's like, bro,
I'm done. I've given you so many eggs, bro.
And the chicken's like, bro, I'll be Mendy. Just save me the trouble, And we slaughter it. We give it to the public kitchen and turn it into meal packs and go hand them out.
Wow.
So
are there still animals there now?
Yeah, I
want to bring the twins, bro.
We've got chickens, ducks, the two zonkies, no livestock, no goats, because the zonkies are taking up all the space. But we have a lot of birds.
I'm bringing the kids.
Bringing
the twins.
Bring them, ahlan wa sahlan.
Yeah, for sure.
And the exercise there is, again, if you know how long it takes the chicken to make that egg, you're going to eat that omelet from cover to cover. Your chicken sandwich, that last bite, how long it takes to make a chiclet, and then turn it into a full-grown chicken. For you to eat that, you're going to eat that chicken sandwich. It's a question of scarcity. It's a question of patience. It's a question of knowing that vacuum-sealed chicken breast that you have, where it came from. It's a big deal, because in Dubai, alhamdulillah, al-fadlillah, we've got an abundance of everything. And in the West as well. But some people, nope, that doesn't exist. They're actually going to al-dawajin and al-farargi to go get al-farkha, and it's a thing that they go do. We've become so disconnected from where our food comes from, so that we take it for granted. And this is not a quest, but this is like just a little side hustle project thing to make sure that we don't get disconnected from that.
That's amazing, man. It's true, because like you get half of the people. I'd probably say 90% of the people in the world and say, okay, slaughter that chicken and then cook it. They'd be like, first of all, no. Because that chicken, Tony, has a family and blah, blah, blah. And B, I'm not going to do it because it's disgusting. And they wouldn't know how to do it. Do you know what I mean?
They wouldn't know how. And
it's very cool to learn that.
It is a painstaking process. Don't slaughter your chickens at home. It's not worth the effort. Slaughtering a goat takes less time than slaughtering a chicken, because you got to defeather that thing, and if you don't have the machine
catch the
for
fucker first,
bro, that's a true story. So human top speed is like 9 kilometers per hour.
Speaks for yourself, bro.
Chicken top speed is like 9.4, so you're just you know what I mean?
Not just that, forget the top speed, the change of direction, bro, that they can do.
They could be quarterbacks. They could be quarterbacks.
Have you ever used jiu-jitsu on the chicken before?
No, but I've
ever choked out
one time, no joke, we had to this was actually serious.
This is gonna be TikTok clip.
One of the zonkies got out into the neighborhood. And then now trying to corner that thing.
Yeah.
Okay? You go this way, it goes this way. And you're not outrunning as a donkey even.
Yeah, yeah.
Wallah al-azim, even a pony.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got the thing under control, stepping on my feet, lost a couple of toes, like just crushed
Actually
my...
lost?
No.
Oh,
just
okay.
like crushed my... Literally crushed my toes under its hooves. I'm running barefoot, no shirt.
Yeah, but that's just because you're Arab.
No, because I was just thinking on the spot. I literally opened the door for a delivery and the thing went zoom.
Wow.
Was waiting for its exit,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Anyways, when I got
what happened to the other girls. It was just like,
when I finally...
You say you love me, but I see what you do to the people you love.
I finally got its sirga ligam over it and grabbed the rope, and the rope, it literally took off and burned my hand.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't, this isn't going to go well. If this gets out onto the street, this is going to be a disaster. So I literally, just the way you would...
Give a little crucifix joke.
No, just a little bit of a choke, so it's not comfortable breathing in and running. And I walked that thing painstakingly across 2 city blocks to bring it home. So jiu-jitsu saved that donkey and my life, actually.
See, look, if you don't want to do jiu-jitsu for anything else,
just do it for the donkey.
Imagine that you have to. You have to be face of a donkey, bro. Jiu-jitsu is gonna get you through it.
It worked,
bro.
man. It worked.
It would have been a funnier story if you were wearing a full gi, bro.
I'm sure people stopped. I swear, AJ, people were like driving by, and we're in the middle of Barsha, right?
Yeah.
So the local community was just driving by, and people would be like, and then we'd be,
yeah, but the thing is, they were doing that for you running barefoot and no stop. The donkey was a normal thing, bro. It's Dubai, bro. It's normal.
They were just like, Salaam alaikum. I'm like, alaikum salam. They're like, Tamam inte?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, wallah tamam, mashkoor. They're like, Zain, تريد شيء? I'm like, la, mashkoor.
And I love the way that it's an Arab thing that they were like, tamam anta? You good?
Yeah.
You were like, nah, I kind of need some help. يعني بلبس الكندور. I can't really help you really, but I just wanted to make sure that you were right.
No, these Emirati boys actually came. They cornered it with one side. Then another guy came and pitched in. It was a big neighborhood effort.
Wow.
Yeah.
Donkey times, bro.
Yes,
Great times of donkeys.
Yes.
There's a few things I want to cover before we get to the end. Time flies when you're having fun.
Really? Are we done?
No, we're not done. We're on an hour though.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I told you, bro. Bro, I'm happy
Bro,
to do a 4 hour, bro.
Yeah,
4 hour, but I feel like we haven't even started
yeah,
yet.
that's true.
So we
This
have to
is
do a
just
number
us.
2.
Iceberg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
1, you're very big on Arab excellence, and I like your views on it, and I want to talk about that. 2, the restaurants, because you just opened 45 restaurants in a whole week, literally. But you know, this last week, and 3, teaching other people courses and having people come and learn that stuff. So let's talk about all that kind of stuff.
Look, you know, again, in the philosophical sense, and this show is a philosophical show.
There you go. Now that's it.
It's a philosophical show.
Now I'm going to air the episode.
Yeah.
Disrespect from before.
Take that to the bank.
Yeah.
The Arab and Islamic world, 22 Arabic-speaking countries were exporters of knowledge, philosophy. They translated everything.
Numbers,
you know what I mean?
Music, guitars,
bro,
candles,
anything,
everything. Yeah.
Listen to me. Anything that has AL in front of it in the English language,
maths
was Arabic.
Dude, Al-Jabbar was my uncle who gave me algebra.
Alcohol, Arab. Al-Jabra, Arab. Alchemy,
bro,
Arab.
Astronomy, even soap, bro. So, and I speak to my English friends. I joke with them, and they're like, "Oh, you guys, you're backwards." I'm like, backwards. You guys used to bath once a month before we gave you that. And you know the saying, "Don't throw the baby with the bathwater." You know where that comes from? 9 of you dirty motherfuckers used to go in the same bucket, and it was so dirty that the baby, you wouldn't even see it inside and throw the thing out. Don't talk to me about backwards, dude. We were the civilization, bro, that brought everything.
You know what's sad about that sentence?
What?
Were.
Yeah. No. But in their eyes.
No, but even...
Because I was still saying that in one of my other episodes, I was talking about Africa and I was talking about that. And what people fail to realize is what they call the third world monetarily, they don't realize is the first world spiritually. Because a kid will play with a tire.
100%.
A kid will play with a tire, they'll chase a chicken, they'll do these things which...
I love that.
You know what I mean? And it's the flip side.
Third world monetarily is the first world... Man. Yo,
let's cut that out because I want to keep that quote and I want to put it in my next book.
No, man,
but it's true.
Hey, from the whole conversation, that was money.
You didn't like anything else in that?
No, but that's heavy. That's heavy, man. Yeah. It's true. Not getting into the theological side of things. Actually, I'm not gonna do it. We'll do this one offline. No, I can't.
No, do it, bro. Do it.
Jesus.
White devil.
No,
Not Jesus. Not Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus did not have a fair skin tone. He was not white.
Well, obviously.
I know, but
this is the crazy thing.
But that's the thing.
No, let's
that's
get
the
into
thing
it.
that's controversial.
Let's get into this because I want to talk about this.
From Sayyidina Musa out of the African continent was probably
even in the Bible it says he had hair of wool and dark skin.
100%.
But forget about that. So the one thing that I find most interesting, I'm going to interrupt you. The biggest trick these people did was to make this blue-eyed, white-eyed Jesus, whatever.
Yeah.
What I find insane is that even after people know that's not the case,
they're still doing.
They still have that picture up in their house and in the churches and all that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into the theology, but even ethnically, anthropologically,
we'll do it for the Patreon, the paid one after.
Anthropologically speaking, the Judeo-Christian beliefs were all olive-skinned, if not African, if not da-da-da-da. So the first world spiritually thing resonates big time. And that
Well, look, spirituality never came from England, bro. That part of the world. And all of it came from this part of the world and reaching out to China and that kind of stuff.
But that's India. What I'm saying. So now what's making a big deal in the Western world is Eastern practices. Yoga, Osho, Zen, I don't know what, Batikh, The Secret, even Islam. All of these practices have come from, exactly like you said, where they originated from, which was not the West. And even actually, you know what, even on a hygienic thing, you know what's making a big deal in the US? And maybe this one's for Mohammed because he put it up on his stand-up. The shatafa, for God's sake.
Bro, I did a whole episode on that.
You're kidding.
I'm not joking. My first episode. So my friend was like, let's do, I called my friend. I was like, listen, I need you on the first episode of the podcast. He was like, what podcast? I was like, look, I'm starting a podcast. I'm starting one tomorrow. We spent probably about 30 minutes talking about arse and shatafa and how do you wipe your arse and how did they even think that? Because I grew up in an Arab household. Yeah. I had the shatafa in London. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was always
in
there.
In the 80s, 90s.
It was always there. Yeah. And like my friends would come to shit at my house
because
of that.
It's called the bidet.
Yeah. No, bro. Do you know I see it on some like podcasts and stuff and they called it
the Muslim shower.
No. There's a new thing that they have now which is like a portable one. Yeah. And they're talking about it like this new thing, you know,
which blows my mind.
Something douche like I don't know what it's called.
That's what I'm thinking. We went to a friend's house and he was talking to the plumber. I was gonna do a New York accent, but it wasn't in New York. And he's like, we need a thing, you know, for after the bathroom. And he's like, what thing? And he's like, you know, that you wash yourself with. And the guy was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you know, the thing that you wash. He's like, oh, you mean a Muslim shower? And I'm like, oh my God.
But it's true.
But look,
you know, you can go to Carrefour and buy travel ones.
Really?
Yeah, that it's literally like a shatafa that goes on the tap of the sink.
Oh yes, I know that. Yeah,
that's how desperate we are to have clean asses, bro.
Bro, like, that's what I'm telling you.
We got takeaway
stuff. All of the stuff that I'm talking about. You know, the best fruits in Egypt don't make it to store shelves. You know where it goes? It gets exported, right? The best gets exported, and and this is something that we're probably going to take to the next level with all of the stuff that we're doing, inshallah. Export quality podcast, export quality food, export quality chess players, export quality collectors of memorabilia, export quality. The Arab world has to stop importing. Everybody that's in the Arab world, whatever you're doing, I mean, stuff. I'm nobody to speak, but just this is everybody in the Arab world on notice. Stop importing, export. Even if you start small. Why is there no Arab car company? Okay.
Because we have mixing zebras and donkeys together, bro.
Think of, man.
Yeah.
Skoda.
No, there actually is now.
What?
There is. The Emiratis made a car.
Lycan? The Lycan?
I don't know, but it looks dope and it's electric.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's
proper dope.
Bravo UAE.
I'll find the name of that. Yeah.
Look.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Man, my dad, Allah Masih bil Khair, Abu Hattem, one time, you're bringing it out of me. Maybe this stuff shouldn't go on the thing. But one time, we were in a mosque somewhere in the Arab world, not in the UAE, when we first moved to the Middle East. And the guy was talking about, it was time during the Intifada and all of the guy, and the guy was, Allahumma shattid shamlahum wa farraq jama'ahum. And my dad was laughing during the dua. I'm like, Pop, man, I was a teenager, you know, pro-pan-Arabism, like, Pop, you shouldn't be laughing at this. He's like, he took me aside, salimna, taqabballah, we went in the car. He said, you know what would happen, Hatem, if that dua came through? I said, what? He said, none of us would have medicine.
Yeah.
None of us would be able to fly home because those airplane parts don't come from the Arab world. The medicine doesn't come from the Arab world. Da, da, da. So if that society disintegrates, what we're using now in the Arab world will disintegrate along with it. You know what I mean? So the Arab world is now starting to become cool in pop culture. People are getting Arabic tattoos, even though they don't know what it says. Yeah. But we have to be proud of our capabilities in music, in culture, in sports, in all of that stuff. Mohamed Salah is like putting the Arab world not just on the map in football, but on the map in everything. And we
You know the joke that they were saying, Astaghfirullah, it wasn't me, it was the English people.
Who?
That
people. If Mohamed Salah scores one more goal, I'll turn to Islam. I'll convert to Islam.
So they said that there are these Muslims, there are six daily prayers.
Yeah.
Fajr, Subh, Dhuhr, Maghrib, Asha, and... No, what was it? I ruined the whole joke. But basically they were saying
there's
morning
there's
salah,
five salah,
and
five
salah. Yeah.
And it's Astaghfirullah. But that's what I'm saying.
Even it made them, and they're all shouting.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Even then, there has to be a Mo Salah in Olympic running. There has to be a Mo Salah in painting. There has to be a Mo Salah in, you know what I'm saying? We have to have the capability to...
It's hard. I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because, for example, UAE football players, okay? Some of them are good enough to play in the Premier League. They won't go.
Because they're well compensated here.
Because the way they look after them here, they're like, why am I going to go over there when I've got millions here? And it's where I grew up and all my friends are here. And I'm more of a celebrity here and stuff like that. And that happens a lot with a lot of other things as well.
In that sense, there is...
Then they're going to say, why don't we have any local players in our teams and in our national teams? Because they all play abroad and they're all over there and they're all over, you know.
This goes way back to the beginning of our conversation about to submit and to be humble and to do all of those things. Do you want to be a big fish in a little pond? You know what I mean? So if you're well looked after here, you're king dingaling. Yeah? But if you go Premier League, maybe you'll be Roma. Mohamed Salah played for Roma first. And now look where he is. Now he's big fish in big pond. You know what I mean? So you've got to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't have these goals.
But listen, if you're being esoteric in your...
Again, this is the same thing about the flavor taste thing that I was saying. You'd be very surprised because you have the knowledge, because you have that esoteric thinking, because you have that, you know, upbringing where you were taught in a certain way by your father. Not everyone thinks like that. Not everyone is spiritual. Not everyone will go to the third session of jiu-jitsu. Not everyone, do you know what I mean?
But AJ, look.
Minorities here we're talking about.
But that's...
Top 1%.
But that's also part of the problem. If you're living your life solo, for you, Anna, there's an issue there. Even psychologically speaking, if you're preoccupied with yourself, I know there's a lot of, self-introspection, I got to show up for me, do all of that stuff to be excellent. Yes. But then when you have become excellent, your excellence is outwardly displayed, right? Your excellence is for your parents, for your children, for your crew, to be all of those things. So the quest for excellence, you could be excellent in your neighborhood, and then after that for the city block, and then for the just even, man, I know you listen to because we were at Seoul together, but I know your tastes in hip hop are like mine. The guys that became great were slinging it on the street corner, battling CDs, amongst each other. And then from how good they got at battling each other on like the street corner, then they got, a Def Jam space. Then they got an East Coast record label. Then they got a West Coast, and now they're global. You know what I mean? So you gotta have that pride. We speak, AJ. This one is like, we speak the same language from Morocco to Iraq. Yeah. We speak the same. There's not a lot of places in the world other than English that can say that many countries speak the same language, right?
Bro,
there's a lot of
India alone has 3,000 dialects and they speak differently to each other, and they're in the same place.
You know what I mean? But Francophone, Spanish, 100%. But the Arab world doesn't have the feeling or the spirit of Pan-Arabism.
And
you
unity.
know when the Arab world came together?
When?
Morocco.
Qatar.
Morocco. Everybody was Team Morocco.
Yeah.
Afterwards, as soon as that was done, whatever. But It's a very joyous thing, but we have to find the capability to unite in joy and in pain. They say joy shared is doubled, pain shared is halved. In the Arab world, we have to do that. We've got to shoulder each other's burdens. I know this isn't a political discussion, but I know there's some Arab countries that are doing better than others. And why am I going to preoccupy with myself with these people? But it's a larger discussion, maybe for episode 7. But the capability of the Arab world to export, and you know what the sad thing is? Arabs in the Arab world will only, not for the most part, but they get good or they excel leaving the Arab world and then will come back.
But they also get stolen, bro.
I disagree with that.
They get stolen by the European countries that they go
No,
to.
don't say that word. Don't say steal. Don't say steal. Dr. Magdi Yaoub became Dr. Magdi Yaoub, you know, the Egyptian heart surgeon.
Yeah.
Butros Ghali. All of the politicians.
No, but I'm talking about a lot of, like, for example, let's talk about the arts and music and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The West has a way of doing something to mask people's origins and things' origins.
No. I disagree with that. Fine. Yes, kind of.
Like a lot of people will say I'm French.
Who says that? Oh, you mean, yes, I know that some people, yes.
You know, a French Moroccan or a French Algerian.
I know.
They will boost the French side.
Fine.
Okay, let's talk Zidane.
أقول لك ليش?
Let's talk Zidane.
Fine. You know why?
One of the best players in the world.
Fine. Why? Ask yourself that question.
Because
it's
they weren't
uncomfortable.
proud?
No. What did, and I'm not speaking for him or speaking for any of these people, what did Morocco do for him? What did France do for him? It gave him a nationality and a place to play and a roof over his head. There is a sociological concept called the brain drain, where the best of all of the countries are going to where it is monetarily feasible to live. The brain drain exists in Egypt. The best doctors, they want to go. The best engineers, they want to go. Everything.
So then then excellence is being exported.
Yes, but then when they go, they don't come back. Right? So, and I'm not talking about exporting yourself. I'm talking about exporting your talent, your product, whatever it is. Their infrastructure doesn't exist in some Arab countries for you to excel where you are. There's a lot of really cool brands here that celebrities have worn. The Egyptian girls, Ukhtain, Beyonce has worn their stuff.
Shout out Five Pillars.
Shout out Five Pillars to Habib. All of those guys. All of these people, they're exporting, but we need more of that higher frequency until it hits critical mass. Until, just like everywhere else, for a lot of, like, I'm talking fashion now, but culinarily, fashion or pop culture, where do they go? They go Los Angeles, Los Angeles, New York, London, Tokyo. Sah?
Yeah.
The Arab world has to be a stop on that. I don't care what it is. The Arab world.
Well, I think Dubai is kind of helping
100%,
be there,
I agree with
especially
that.
because the funny thing is Dubai is importing outside stuff as well, which is quite smart. UFC, boxing, all that stuff. They're making Dubai and Abu Dhabi the stop for them to go to.
Yes.
So they're making
it better here. They're not importing it. They're giving it a platform.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're doing kind of what you're saying, reverse. So they're like, oh, you guys are big. Okay, let's make this a stop because look what they did in Corona with the UFC, bro.
But think about what is out of Abu Dhabi, what is the working arm of Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, ADIA, the second largest sovereign wealth fund in the world. What's the company called?
I don't know.
It's called Mubadala.
Oh, yeah.
And Mubadala comes from the initiative when it was started. God bless the UAE government for this. Come, and we will trade you for, a considerable amount of money, your talent, for you to teach the local generation what you're doing abroad. And now Mubadala has their arms in everything, right? I'm not sure if they've got hospitality, but Mubadala Hospitality, give your boy a shout. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, Mubadala, they're trading. What do they have in abundance here? MashaAllah. Cash.
Sand.
Right? Yeah. And raw local talent, young local talent, well-educated, well-spoken, well-put together. Now they need somebody to come teach them. Some things that don't exist here, some domain expertises that don't exist here. Mubadala is doing that. So in essentially that importation, 100% is needed. But the importation of food, music, art, think about fashion, and no. We're going to stop that. Whoever has a big investment company and you're going to go talk to Chipotle, no disrespect to Chipotle, I love Chipotle, but you're going to talk to Chipotle to find out who's doing the same thing here and invest in them.
Who is doing the same thing here? Mattar.
The boys at Tocado.
Yeah, Tocado, the Mexicans. They started off with two brothers,
Oh,
right?
you know who else? No, you know on the Mexican side of things, El Burro, Egyptian guy, and Maze Tacos, Iraqi couple.
I met her at one of Freak's gigs, I think.
Yeah, they're great.
Very
they're
good.
But homegrown, man. Homegrown.
Yeah.
Invest in those people.
Yeah. Makes sense. Talk about the restaurants.
Mattar.
Shout out.
Shout out to Mattar.
week.
First of all, Tamara and Hannah Mattar, Ahmad Mattar, Pasant Mattar, Noha Mattar, Huda Anis. That's the Mattar squad, nuclear family. Shout out to them. We are who we are because of them, for them. And then Mattar has a spot in Timeout, has a spot in DIFC, has a spot in Maidan, which we are partners with the boys from Pinza and the boys from Matcha.
Pinza Pizza.
Yeah.
Okay.
150 seats, all live fire cuisine, 45,000 years of olive trees in the ground. Beautiful space. Probably the coolest restaurant space you'll see in the city, bar none. And then the DIFC spot is opening this week. We're gentrifying DIFC. Take your tie off before you come in. You won't be able to eat without it. Barbecue school at the old Latifa School for Girls, historic place with the Dubai College of Tourism. We're doing 2 classes a month. Curriculum that spans everything from starting a fire all the way to executive chefs that want to add live fire cuisine to their repertoire. And, barbecues, merch, aprons, spices, sauces.
Dude, your apron
rubs.
is dope.
Yeah.
Who made the apron for you? The one that I
the
saw?
orange one?
Yeah.
Tamashi. Shout out to the boys at Tamashi, Munira and Muhammad Kadhim. And you know who, the calligraphy that was on it?
Yeah.
You know the calligraphy, who gifted me that? El Cid.
Ah, okay.
And he gifted me that.
That's a dope apron, bro.
And
Let's make it out of camel leather or something, right?
It is. It's UAE made.
Nice.
Munira is Saudi, Muhammad Kadhim is Emirati, and they make him here.
Nice.
Again, exactly. UAE, Arab excellence, UAE made, and they do export that. But the apron.
Who makes your knives that you cut all your meat with?
So the one that's on my chest, I had made from a deer that we hunted.
Wow.
Turned that into sausage, and then the horn into a knife. The rest of the knives, just like any chef's, collected from all over. And then we've got a weaponsmith that makes our pocket knives. You know, the ones that are in the...
Fucking jiu-jitsu guy who's got a weaponsmith, man. You don't want to mess with this guy at all, dude. He'll come after you riding on a zonkey, bro, with a sword.
With a sword. I have got one, actually. But we've got, those small knives that you see on our aprons that come out with the ring. Yeah. Those are hitting stores real soon. And, man, that's everything.
If somebody wants to learn, do you do courses that are not in the school? Let's just say that you have a friend who's a really cool guy, maybe has a podcast, wants to just come and just cook some stuff. Yeah.
I don't know, man. If he shows up in Gucci shoes, I don't think. Oh, man,
they were a gift, bro. They were a gift. I didn't buy them. You know me and brands, bro.
Yeah, if you show up shib, cap backwards,
bro. I've been here in shorts. I've been here in slippers. I've been here in everything.
And your basketball jersey, then
that's it, bro.
Yeah, khalas.
That's it.
Yeah, I know a guy who knows a guy.
That's it. But what if someone, for example, is really into it, and they want to kind of, I'm being serious.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Somebody who wants to do a personal one-on-one, let's just say, course with you. You just don't have the time.
It's not that I don't. Wallahi, I would love nothing more than to do this. Everything that we just talked about, I would love to do it not for money, because I enjoy what I'm doing. But now this is the legacy for Tamara and Hannah and all of that stuff. So it has to be a commercial enterprise. Between all of those things, I'm at like a 200-hour work week. There isn't enough hours in the day for me to sit one-on-one with people.
But surely you could train the Mattar squad, right?
To teach, there's a lot of nuances there. But if somebody goes through the entire course from start to finish at the school, they'll be able to teach themselves. They can open their own barbecue school.
And that's something that you want, right? As opposed to being like, no, I want to be the only one who does it this way.
Listen, now in this day and age, you can Google every type of knowledge under the sun and spend the time. Johnny Bones Jones,
there's a difference,
Bones Jones, before he became Johnny Bones Jones and put in the time, taught himself how to fight on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not going to teach them, someone else is, or they're going to read, or they're going to. And in general, if I gave you, honestly, AJ, if you went through the course and I gave you everything, including our suppliers and our spices and our stuff, which I'm happy to do, and you cook brisket, it would turn out different than, nafas, it would turn out different. Everybody makes mulukhiyah, everybody makes mahshi, everybody makes chocolate chip cookies. But every one of those times that someone else makes it, it's different.
How do you make sure that your menus are small, right? It's not like you've got so much choice. It's like you come to eat this and there's these
brisket, turkey, ribs, sausage, chicken, lamb, portobello mushrooms for the vegans.
drizzled in bacon sauce,
drizzled in butter.
But how do you make sure that each restaurant has that quality of? Because again, Mattar is very personal to you, and that's something also I like because I see the post with your father and this kind of stuff. By the way, was he into it before you?
No,
So you converted him?
No, so Abu Hattem, I was a shitty kid when I was a teenager, and we didn't really get along. Being third culture kid, and I'm like trying to find my space and stuff like that. So whenever it was time to grill, I'd get the fire going, and then I'm like, I'm trying to watch him, and he's lid open, flipping the kofta like 14 times, like every Arab parent, and he's like, Muhammad kunna bnqul no. So I grew up and learned that you're not supposed to grill like that. And when I told him, I'm like, Pop, you know the way you used to make kofta? And he's like, Aywa. And I'm like, that's wrong. And he's like, Tfaddal wa'amil kubayt shay. I'm like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you
can tell he's proud of you though.
Yeah. The whole thing with my dad, I wanted to be a lawyer, made me an engineer. Then I wanted to be a fighter, and now this. Whether he's proud or not, I don't know, because we don't have that kind of conversation. We haven't had that conversation.
You can see it in the face.
But he's been there. You know what I mean? We man, can I tell you something? We went, and this was like, this does. Alhamdulillah, al-fadlillah, shukrillah. This happens often, not frequently, like all the time, but we got a call to go feed Hans Zimmer.
Wow.
No joke. No, and Gladiator and Interstellar and
but
The
I'm
Lion
old.
King.
I'm old, bro.
No, I'm Gladiator.
Beverly Hills Cop.
And I was calling him out when he's like, this track that I did for Gladiator. I'm like, Duduk of the North, and he was like, yes, sir. Anyways, he shows up. Hans Zimmer standing right in front of me. My dad is taking it very calmly. Yeah, and he's a big Hans Zimmer fan too. He's looking at him and he's like. So anyways, I walk up to him, make him a sandwich, and I'm like, listen, it's not music, but I still consider this art. Tell me what you think. And he has the sandwich, sits down, and leaves the conversation, which is a very in-depth conversation because he's the guest of honor. Leaves the conversation. Wallahi al-azim, AJ comes back, and he says, can I have another piece of your art? I give him the sandwich, and he's like, and a hug. Wow. And he hugged me. And I saw the look on my dad's face in the corner, and even if he never says it, I was like, yeah, that's it right there. You know what I mean?
Bro, that's incredible. And I want to say one thing. I'm a big memorabilia collector. If you didn't get something signed...
No, nothing.
Oh, what is wrong with you, dude?
Bro, we've...
what is wrong with you, dude?
So we've fed...
There are ways to do it without being a dick.
No, it's not.
And be like, hey, but if you just broke a piano key off one of your keyboards and just got him to sign that would have been so dope to put in a frame.
Look, we've fed Shakira, we fed Jigard Piqué, Pogba, Mohamed Salah, BJ Penn, Anderson Silva.
So I need to get you some stuff to the restaurant. Bro.
All of these people come, and the interaction for me is, remember when things...
No, that's fine for you. Listen, I'm a big memorabilia collection. My living room is worse than this.
Really?
Yeah, to the point that my wife was like, you can't keep doing this. This looks like a Andrew Tate's house. Yeah, it looks like a bachelor pad.
You don't want that.
It looks like a bachelor pad. Literally, signed shirts, Zidane boots, boxing gloves, Manny Pacquiao, Tyson, everywhere, frames all over. And she was like, this doesn't look nice. And I was like, look, there's two things you can do. We can get divorced, or we can leave this on the wall.
Yeah. Next time any of the fighting boys come through, I'll get something for you.
Dude, bring them. Bring them on the show, bro.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Bro, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on here, bro. I don't want to... Well, you want me to dap a giant wolf with the pointiest ears in the world. You want to cut me with that, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a real laugh, dude. Honestly, we need to do another 2 or 3 of these for sure.
I would love that, man.
Next time, bring food, bro.
You have to eat at the place.
Okay,
now
we're
you've just
coming,
eaten
though.
Remotely.
We're coming. DK? Okay, he knows. He knows. He's already planned it.
He's like, I'm coming to that one.
See, DK, you heard him, right?
Yes, come eat in person.
We're going to eat zonki.
No,
zonki. It's part of the family. It's part of the family.
No, go on, no zonki. Give us a bad rap.
We're ready. Dude, again, it's been an absolute pleasure. And so there's ways that I do this podcast. There's sometimes where I have, somebody that needs questions. So I have the teleprompter there, and I'll have 20 questions that I want to put
get
down.
through certain stuff.
Then there's people which, again, like the first time we met, we became friends.
Yes.
And you can just tell the energies for you.
Yeah.
You know when you meet people that have the same kind of energy.
Kindred spirits.
Yeah. You can see the teleprompter's off, right?
It is off.
It's off. There's nothing
Just
there.
looks
So
you.
I knew from the beginning that I wouldn't have even had to put a question there,
Yeah.
because I knew it was going to flow like this.
And we could probably
yeah,
keep going.
Exactly. No, we could keep
Yeah,
going,
we
bro.
will, yeah.
Honestly, it's only the viewers after 3 hours, they'll be like, guys,
Like,
come on, we need a
fuck,
break.
guys, that's
I'm not
enough.
at Rogan level
Yeah,
yet where I
yeah,
could
yeah,
do it
yeah.
and just stick a middle finger up. But,
Yeah.
but like, I knew that the conversation was going to flow like this. And again, we need to do this again. We will do it again. For sure,
we will.
when you bring me my merch and my stuff.
Okay, sign memorabilia, food,
memorabilia.
merch.
We're gonna get a chopping board for here.
Yes, covered.
Yeah.
3 things. You get 3 things. That's it. That's all 3
Ooh.
wishes. That's it.
Farm
Visit, that's easy. That's not
Yeah,
the
okay,
show.
cool.
Oh, we'll shoot the next one at the show. At the
Yeah, we'll do that.
Hey,
We'll do
get
that.
the
Yeah,
couches.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
We should have the
Let the
donkeys
donkeys
walking
run
around the
around. Yeah,
donkeys.
there you
Yeah,
go, there you
let's
go.
do it. Bro, like, again, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. And this
Thank
is the
you,
one
man.
thing that I love about this podcast as well, that I really kind of appreciate, and I've learned to appreciate that through doing this, I get to meet some incredible people, and
Yeah.
I get to build incredible friendships from
Yeah.
them. And look, if you ever need someone to cook for you, man, I can.
Bro, come. I'll save you a spot in first class of 2023.
Let's do it, bro.
Done.
Let's do it.
All right.
Bro, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Yalla.
Yes.
Guys, I've been AJ. He's been Hattem. Boom.
Peace.